You cannot make this up, guys. Borderlands 4 is a disaster now, and now Borderlands 4 just had the single worst promo crash of all time. And it didn't happen on some random Twitch live stream or a buggy beta test. No, this happened on Conan O'Brien's Clueless Gamer. The game froze, and it didn't just freeze like on a random pre-recorded segment. No, this was live mid demo in front of millions of potential buyers, guys. People that are looking to buy this game because it's out in early access and it's launching in just a couple of days. And instead of owning it, the devs tried to pin the blame on Conan's co-host, which we're going to talk about that because the whole excuse and reason that they came up with is just pure cope. But they tried to blame it on his co-host like it was some part of the comedy skit. But here's why this isn't just funny, guys. It's a disaster that tells us a lot more about where Borderlands 4 is headed. And that is that it's a disaster that's dead on arrival. And we talked about it the other day. We talked about how there was tweets out there saying that the early access on PC is a mess. That there's a lot of issues with the frame rate, that it's crashing, that it just doesn't run. And this is on newer systems, high-tier PC rigs. And Randy Pitchford was running damage control. I talked about that in my last video if you haven't seen it yet. And this ties into that. This ties into all of it because now there's no way that they can lie or hide about it because it crashed live on Conan O'Brien's Clueless Gamer show. So let's talk about this whole episode, right? If you missed it, it's trending on X. I'm sure you can find some clips. I saw Alucard, shout out to them, posted a tweet saying, "This is peak cinema. Borderlands 4 crashes during Conan's Clueless Gamer." And yeah, it really happened. Like, I was speechless, guys. So you watch the clip, Conan struggling through the demo, which is usually part of the bit, right? It's funny to watch him play video games as Boomer. In fact, I enjoyed Clueless Gamer so much in the past that I was actually hoping there would have been a spin-off series that's regular. I think they could still do it. Conan, this is an underrated segment that you usually do. Bring it back because we see golden gems like this where Conan's trying to figure out the controls and then suddenly in the middle of him playing we get an Unreal Engine error. The game just absolutely crashes. We see a pop-up go right in the middle of the showcase letting us know the game crashed and everything that players have been warned about and everything that the players that are playing early access have been warning other players about has been exposed. We're talking stuttering. We're talking freezing. We're talking constant bugs, frame rate issues, everything. The game was literally exposed on a stage in front of millions of potential players that were going to buy this game. And this isn't just some kind of small indie game. This is one of the biggest franchises out there in gaming, guys. Borderlands. This is the 4th game in the franchise. And they pulled somehow this massively embarrassing achievement of it crashing on Conan O'Brien's Clueless Gamer. And they could not do anything about it except cope and seethe and try to pass the buck. Just like Randy Pitchford tried to do the other day. And you got to remember, speaking of Randy Pitchford, he's been saying this whole, it's your PC, guys, if your game is experiencing problems. We actually addressed it in my video the other day. He literally has been telling fans, no, bro, it's your PC. Your specs are too low. Like, really, dude? You're going to do that as your damage control? Then tell me why the game literally melted down on a professionally staged demo. You're in front of Conan. You had employees there with you. You had access to high-end PC gaming equipment. And it still crashed in an embarrassingly fashion. There's no way that you could use that excuse still that the specs weren't enough. The crash itself was brutal enough, guys. But then the recovery attempt they tried to make made it absolutely worse. And listen to this damage control. Instead of saying, yeah, this is an issue that we're working with, it'll be patched day one, one of the producers jumped in and claimed that Conan's co-host must have caused it by pressing random keyboard buttons in the middle of the demo. Yeah, they blamed it on the co-host. And yeah, I mean, think about that, guys. This is a game in 2025, right? If we're led to believe that that's the truth, this is a game in 2025 that's built on Unreal Engine, and it's crashing because somebody tapped a key. Even Conan's like, wait, that's the official explanation? Like making fun of them. Like literally mocking them. The body language, the awkward jokes. You could tell everyone knew that this was catastrophic. And you could see that slight look of panic in the face of the Gearbox employees that were right there. Because this was ridiculous. I'm still speechless, and I keep watching this because it's a train wreck that you can't look away from. And it was exposed. I am relishing in it. Now, I know there's a lot of Borderlands fanboys out there that were upset. They don't like people criticizing this. But explain this, guys. If your specs are too low, why did it happen to Conan? Make it make sense. Make it make sense here, guys. Because everything that they could have did to remedy this situation didn't happen. They could have prepared. If it really is that excuse of low specs, they could have made sure they had the most high-end PC they could have had. They could have made sure that they ran through it a few times, had the latest updates. But no, the game crashed, and there was nothing they could do about it but blame the co-host. Now, if this was just one bad live stream, guys, it wouldn't be a big deal, right? Like, if it was just one thing that happened randomly, and it was like, oh, okay, it was just a, random crash, very rare. But no, Borderlands 4 already has all these reports we talked about from early access testers that are complaining about the instability of it. And now, when your big promotional push, your marketing campaign, ends with the game hard crashing on Conan's Clueless Gamer, that basically confirms all the worst fears that gamers had leading up to this. Like, it literally validates all the red flags. Instead of hyping up fans, it's going to be planting doubt. People are going to wait and see what happens. They're probably not going to buy the game after all. They're going to wait for a sale. Will the game even be stable at launch? That's what we got to know. There definitely will be a day one patch, more than likely, because that's how AAA gaming works now. But I don't know, guys. Are we going to be looking at a Cyberpunk 2077 style meltdown at launch? I don't know, guys. I don't think it can get that bad, but this is not looking good. So let's talk about the spin that the games media has been doing for this, because games media has to spin everything, right? And here's where it gets even more insulting, right? The gaming outlets downplayed the whole thing. GamesRadar ran a story framing like, oh, Conan got early access to Borderlands 4 and hates Claptrap. And then buried halfway down the article, one line just says, oh, by the way, the game crashed. Like, hidden in the article, right? They didn't even mention it right away. That's it. They basically swept it under the rug. There was no analysis, no accountability, no going further into depth about why the game possibly crashed. This is exactly why gamers don't trust video games journalism anymore. Protecting access is more important than actually telling the truth. They can't lose that special VIP access, right? That they've been working for since Gamergate. And trust me, this will be remembered, guys. This is marketing disaster history here. We've seen disasters like this before. Microsoft's voice commands failing on stage. Elon Musk had the Cybertruck window shatter when they first revealed it. These moments live forever, guys, and not because of one mistake, but because they reveal the truth behind hype. Okay, there's always, of course, you're going to want to push and plug and kind of sensationalize your product to get people hyped to buy it. But Conan's crash wasn't just an accident, guys. It was literally the mask slipping off on the truth of the game. But here's why you should care, guys. Oh, why should we care, Eric? Why does it matter? Gearbox is responsible for this, guys. If Gearbox can't keep their game from crashing during their own promo event that they have complete control about, what chance do you think when it hits our consoles and PCs that it won't do the same thing, that it won't be running like a mess, right? When you and I have access to this game, can we even rely on it running right? This wasn't just a glitch. It was literally a warning sign, guys, that the game is not optimized. Borderlands 4 is either going to launch in either rough shape, or Gearbox is going to scramble with a day one patch and pray that people forget that all of this stuff was happening before it released, which that'll probably be what happens, guys. But the internet has receipts. The internet doesn't forget. That clip is not going away, and for once the devs and journos won't be able to sweep this disaster under the rug, because it's right there, large and in living color. So I want to know, guys, do you think Borderlands 4 can recover from this PR disaster of crashing on Conan, or is this the beginning of another AAA disaster launch? Drop your take in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like or dislike and hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 100,000 subs. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Thank you for watching.